so excited. Anthony Burrell, veteran dancer, amazing, versatile. Like, he's a bona fide. Like, he's so legit. He's so major, and he has a dance studio as well. Anthony Burrell Center for Dance as well. Out in Atlanta. I think it's in Atlanta. I know it's in Georgia, but yeah, so we're excited to talk to him and see how he's like transitioning, you know, and adjusting and adapting through COVID and all of this, and what he thinks about, oh, you here? Oh, you in the building. Okay, so he's here. So I love that. So we're about to jump in real quick. Good to see you, Anthony. So you know what? Let me give you all a quick little rundown for those of you who don't know. Like, I mean, many of you probably know, and that's why you're here. So shout out to y'all. But Anthony Burrell is a Philadelphia-born creative director, choreographer, and actor. He is seen as the creative force on E! Entertainment for Mariah's World, Mariah Carey's Vegas residency, Sweet Sweet Fantasy Tour, Unsilent Night, Christmas, and All I Want for Christmas at the Beacon Theater. Anthony is part of the artistic team behind Beyonce's Super Bowl 50 halftime show, MTV Music Awards, Country Music Awards, the Formation World Tour, and countless music videos. He's won an MTV Video Music Award for Best Choreography in Beyonce's Formation, and was also nominated for Best Choreography in Beyonce's Sorry. His film credits include Lemonade, Bad Grandpa, Jackass 4, and Leave It on the Floor. He made his Broadway debut in Twyla Tharp's Broadway musical Come Fly With Me. He's been on 11 world tours and 30 music videos and over 100 TV and award shows. He's been an Ailey dancer. He's versatile. He's epic. He's iconic. He's all of those things. So I'm super excited to have him on. Anthony, come up in the room, my brother. Let's see. Where you at? 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 Welcome to the office.
Appreciate the intro, bro. That was popping.
Yo, well, you're popping. That intro, I didn't write it. That's just real. That's real stuff. That's all you. So shout out to you for that, man. How you feeling?
Man, you know, despite like how we should be feeling, I'm really good. I'm blessed, man. Like, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm happy. You know, taking this time right now to reflect on me and just like find new space, find new energies to like propel forward. Like, so I'm in a really good space, like considering the circumstance and my circumstance.
Got you. Okay, so for those who aren't privy, let's talk about the circumstances considered. We're all in Corona world right now and things have been shut down. Let's talk about, and I was just talking about earlier when we logged on about, you know, I've been feeling for the dancers, the tour dancers, the studio owners, all those things. So you have, tell the people. So you have Anthony Burrell Center for Dance.
Anthony Burrell Center for Dance here in Atlanta. I started about 2 years ago, which has been a dream of mine since I was a boy at like 14 in Philly, growing up in like a community center. And I just wanted to be that same vehicle for someone else. From that time, I was like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted to do. So after my career and my last experience working in show business, it kind of turned me away from that world a little bit, the commercial world, and which pushed me into going after my dream and like, you know, doing Anthony and not doing a Beyonce or Mariah or somebody else. You know, I was doing my and it totally changed my life, man. I got to make a difference for, you know, hundreds of kids that walk through this door to train. It's Atlanta. It's not just for Black people, but my demographic is the brown kid, you know, the low impoverished child that doesn't have, you know, the resources or finances, you know, to go to an Atlanta ballet. We're bringing the same curriculum as an Ailey program, and I'm proud of it because it's everything that I imagine it would be.
You should be. That's amazing, brother. Okay, and so how has Corona and COVID impacted the studio right now?
Well, gatherings of 10 or more are restricted, and that basically cancels me out as a business. And, you know, no students, no funding, no grants, no income, and with none of that, I'm forced to like possibly have to like find another method out, because we may have to close our doors because of the situation, and it's unfortunate, but you know, it's nothing I can do or say, but just say it. Take this time to like really think about what's happening in this moment. I can't
Yeah,
talk about, oh, I don't have no students, because I'm still doing online classes, and I
that's good.
realize, the building doesn't make Anthony Burrell Center for Dance. I am Anthony Burrell Center for Dance, and
Yes,
I just have to keep remembering that I am the reason, not a building, not having students here in my presence. Like, I'm still affecting people. I'm still changing lives
yes,
via Zoom, and it's working for me. It's working for me for now. Yeah, so I'm battling the fact that I may have to shut down my business temporarily in a physical space because
in
of
the
the
physical
overhead and
space.
not being able to afford my overhead right now. And that's just being super, super candid,
Yes,
super honest.
yeah,
And
yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I'm praying daily that that the SBA will come through. We haven't received anything yet, so fingers are crossed.
Yeah.
T's are crossed. So
I okay. But people can also donate as well, right?
yeah, you could donate at store.anthonyburrell.org, um, and it'll take you right to the page where you could donate. All donations are tax deductible. Right now, we're still trying to raise money for these kids, that parents who have lost jobs, and trying to scholarship the ones who can't afford it. We've
Wow.
cut our prices drastically for online, and some of them still can't make do. So we're still trying to accommodate some of our talent by scholarshiping them from donations that we receive.
Got you. Okay, so everyone, and we'll put it in our stories as well today. Everyone support in whatever ways you can. Share what we share, like donate when you can. Anthony is doing amazing things for the arts community. And, it just makes me, Anthony, actually just kind of think about even just the arts community as a whole and how, it's one thing that you don't have the studio and so you can't teach or whatever, but it's also about the students who come there as a safe haven, as a place to learn and grow their skill. So what do you think? I mean, you're doing the Zoom classes and the online classes, right? So but what do you think in terms of future for that, in terms of future for even training the youth as you're doing, like you
Um,
know
I don't think it ends here. Like I haven't really like put this out to the world yet, but I'm going back for my master's this summer, and I'm yeah, I think that's the next step for myself is being able to get those letters and go into higher education, go into public schools, and like still being able to access children. Maybe it's Anthony Burrell, and of course I would love to have Anthony Burrell Center for Dance, like a Starbucks, like a
yes,
oh, let's put them everywhere. But right now, I think you know this illustrious career. I think that's something I've always wanted to do, but I was intimidated to do. And this time has really allowed me to think like, and stop being scared. Like, you've done all this cool stuff. Like, do what you want to do. Not be on somebody's schedule. Not like, doing your master's is like you're working for you. You're doing research for you. You're like figuring out
yes.
what you doing what I want to do basically. And I've never really taken the time to do that. So that's my next step. But for
Okay.
dancers in general, I think it's forcing dancers to be innovative, forcing dancers to be creative, as far as online podcasts, online classes. I'm
Yeah.
going to do a dance-a-thon similar to what Diddy did, and gather about 10 of my friends and do 1 hour each to kind of raise
Oh,
money and funds for the schools. So each hour will be someone different.
I
Um,
love that.
yeah, so it's forcing us to be innovative and creative, and I mean, there's no end to this right now. So it's really scary for a lot of us right now. It's really scary for
Yes.
a lot of us artists, because that's how most of us pay our bills.
Yeah.
through this dance, through these privates, through teaching at these schools, teaching at these studios, competitions. It goes on, and all of that is at a halt right now. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that's why we gotta. And the crazy thing is, I right before I called you, I'm like, damn, I never really thought about that degree that I thought wasn't so important. You know? Yeah, I thought at this point I was like, wow, now I see why my life is shut down. But people that not that a degree, everyone with a degree is still working, but
Yeah.
options.
But the thing is, like you were saying, it forces us to be innovative, and you have option. I mean, you just threw out 3 or 4 different ideas of what you could do in your world, and not negating the masters or whatever else, but there are options of what you could do as well with your relationships, with your skill, with your talent, with your resources, as well as just kind of the internets. There are things there are also things that you could do as well. So yes, degree, but yeah,
No,
yeah.
I'm not. It's not. I'm pushing my degree now because it's like I want to be able to go into higher education and really be able to give kids what they need for today's industry, because I feel like a lot of teachers in these schools and these industries are not necessarily preparing these dancers for today's world, if it's concert or commercial. So it's not that I'm negating that yeah, I'm an artist, wholeheartedly. Like, I don't gonna be in no damn school, but I know this damn school gonna give me what I need.
What you need to give them what they need. Exactly.
I'm not into performing. I'm not into that no more. Like, I've done everything that I've ever wanted to do. So now I'm like, I want to be able to give back, and that's I don't know why I'm so passionate about it. It's like sometimes it irks me because I'm like, go and make some money, and I'm like,
no, that's a beautiful thing, and we need that. We need that. So does that speak to? Okay, so I'm gonna kind of sort of transition into your story. So does the desire to help the youth in terms of dance and dance education, does that stem from your past? Like, what was your, when you came up, what was your training and what was your experience in terms of the arts?
My introduction to dance was through a community center. And through that community center, the woman that ran the center kind of took me into her home. And they changed my life forever. I was a street kid in Philly, and taking me into that little program, they literally had to lock the doors to keep me inside the program because I was a bad ASS kid, So they would literally have to lock the doors to keep me inside the studio. And I just imagine, like, what if they just had, let this little badass boy out of here, let him out of here. Like, that would have, like, my life would be totally different right now. And I'm just forever grateful for them and for that experience and dance and them enforcing, ballet classes, Yeah, I'm just I've been super grateful for them. And I think it just sits well. It sits here for me. And it's like, I want to be able to be that same person for someone else. And yeah, you don't make no money.
Stop it. Passion over profit, brother. Passion over profit.
I'm clearly there.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so then, all right, so that was your youth that you got started early. So then how did you get into professional dance? Like, and when did you know, okay, so from the times they were locking you in there for ballet classes, from when did you realize, like, oh, I can make a living out of this? I can make a life out of this. When was that transition?
Well, that happened in high school. I was 16, a junior in high school, going to a blue ribbon high school. You have to get like 89% to, like, in order to get a passing credit. And I stopped I started cutting school so I could go do this job in Vegas that was paying me $100 a show. And I was actually the 1-2. Listen, the 1-2 of this, I cut school to do a job, to go to other people's schools to do lecture demonstrations, but I was making $100 a show and doing 2 shows a day. So I was bringing home $1,000 in 11th grade a week. And
yeah, that set you up.
yeah, so that's when I was like, oh, I'm making more than my mom right now, you know? Like, so I was like, cool, I could really do this thing. And then, you know, someone introduced me to a theater director in Philly at the Art and Theater on Second Street. And they were looking for a dancer. I went auditioned, bro. Like I was being paid like $700 for a show, and I did like 3 shows a week. And I was like, I'm making a living. I'm making a living off of this. And it just like I knew that, and it wasn't never really about the money for me. It was about the opportunities that were coming to me that made me realize that I could do this, you know. And it wasn't no money, no finances. Like, you know, being called to be casted. I mean, being called to audition for a movie at like 16. These were things that were just like boom, thrown at me. Like I was like,
So
okay.
these weren't even things that you were going for. You were striving
No.
for. They were kind of things like, oh. Like
It just came
coming
along
in.
with the territory, and I think that's like that's why I know I was destined for dance, and like because things just kind of happened. Like my relationship from high school to U Arts. My teacher was a professor at University of Arts, so I got a scholarship to University of Arts. Judith Jamison went to University of Arts, and it was honoring her for a dinner. I went and performed at the dinner with my little community center where I started, was performing for her. And I said, let me do a little solo before y'all really quick. I bamboozled my way into her presence, and she stopped the event, and she was like, you know, come audition. I auditioned. I got into Ailey. Desmond Richardson, who was my all-time mentor, like this dude, like really like I followed his path as a dancer. Called Ailey when I was there as a dancer and was like, hey, Beyonce's choreographer is looking for guys that are 6 feet. And it wasn't that many guys at Ailey at that time that was 6 feet. So I went to Radio City Music Hall and met Frank through that experience. And Frank, Beyonce, from that, they took me on tour. So things just kind of like, it was like boom after boom after boom. And it's not like I had to like really go out in auditions and do things like that.
That's amazing. Okay, wait. So how long were you at Ailey before you did the Beyonce audition and started that world?
Okay, I was in I did a year at college at University of the Arts when I got out of high school, and met Miss Jamison and auditioned for her for the first company, and I got into Ailey 2. Did a year with Ailey 2 because they didn't have any. Well, actually, they didn't have any spots that year, so they stuck me in Ailey 2 for a year, which was a great experience under Sylvia Waters and Derek Minter, who you know, were like my mama and daddy, you know, because I was a bad kid. Like I said, I was still transitioning. And I stayed there for a year, and then I got into the Ailey company, did that for 3 years. And then I met Beyonce and Frank, and then I did that whole commercial thing. And then I ended up going back to Ailey after a 5-year hiatus in 2008 and stayed for a year and a half before I departed again.
Okay, so in between the Ailey stints, it was Beyonce.
Yeah, it was Beyonce, and then I went on to Destiny's Child, and then I went back. I went to Rihanna after that tour, just as tours, and like. And then I went back to Beyonce's tour, and then I went to work with Mary J Blige.
Come on, resume.
And then I went back to Ailey because I was like, I wasn't happy, you know. I was making mugga, I was making that money, and I was like, it don't feel like Revelations, you know. It didn't feel like
Revelations,
it didn't feel like Cinderella, you know. It didn't feel like they weren't really clapping for me. They were clapping for the Beyonce or the Mary. At Ailey, they were clapping for me. And it was something different about that applause at the end that just hit different.
Wow. Okay, that's an interesting way to put it. Okay, so tell me this: what was the big difference in your transition from Ailey to commercial, and now you're doing all these, you know, concerts and tours, etc.? Like, what was that? How was that transition, and what was the hardest part of it?
I shouldn't say we shouldn't have talked about this part, but I give you a little brief.
What?
So what happened was what happened? Mr. Frank Gatchen, who's a creative genius himself,
Yes, he
He was the
is.
one I auditioned for when Desmond introduced me to the choreographer at for Beyonce. She was doing Radio City Music Hall when she came upside down, like singing with the big hair.
Yes.
That was my first job with her, and all I have on a black leotard, fake cover, and I was just moving and like smoothing. And immediately he was like, "Where do you work at?" No, because during that rehearsal, I was like, "Frank, I got to go back to work." It was like I came so you could see me, but I got to get back to work. He was like, "Where do you work at?" I was like, "Alvin Ailey." He was like, "That's a job." I was like, "Bro, like," and I don't think he was trying to cut it, but I was like, "Yo, this my work, like, you know, this my thing
Work.
right here." And he yeah, he just kind of from that experience, he took me right to Beyonce after and was like, "Yo, look at this kid, look what this kid can do," and I showed her some flexible stuff like 6 o'clock or something, and she would start talking about her sister, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." Like her sister was a dancer, Solange was a dancer, and that was that. A month later, they flew me out to walk her down the steps for an award show, and I made like a lot of money, and I was like,
To walk her down the steps?
walking down the steps, bro. And the only reason why they hired me and flew me out there because he was like, they knew if she fell, I could probably catch her and do a twirl or spin. So from that experience, like it was just at that time, like I was struggling in Italy. I was struggling with my finances. You know, living in New York is a hustle. It's hard, and off of a dancer's salary at that point in time, I was making $750 a week, and $750 a week, $1,500, $3,000 a month. It's not a lot of money after
Yeah.
before taxes.
Yeah, exactly.
After taxes, it hit, you know, it's a little different. So I mean, struggling basically to, like, you know, sustain in the city. So when the opportunity came, when Frank was like, you know, we're about to do a little European tour with Beyonce. If you're interested, you know, I'll give you dance captain. I'll give you this. I'll do that. And it was just like,
I gotta go.
so that was my transition. I ended up leaving mid-contract at Ailey, which was, you know, a really hard decision because, you know, Judith Jamison, my mentor, is one I look up to very, you know, highly. And I ended up leaving my contract like a week before City Center season, and I was casted for so much stuff. And yeah, it was a tough time, but you know, it was bittersweet because I did like this. I made that decision, and it kind of navigated my life to a place that I could have never imagined.
Yo, that's amazing, bro. Okay. All right. So, how were you able to toggle back and forth between the world of concert and then, because then you went back. Like, so how is that kind of going back and forth?
Well, it never left me. I just stopped training, you know, to train like an Ailey dancer. They're like superhuman, so it's like the training is rigorous, the rehearsal is rigorous, the performing is rigorous. So, you know, 8 shows a week versus doing 3 shows a week with Beyonce with craft services and food in the back. Like I had gained like 30 whole pounds from the time I left Italy to the time I went back. So I looked like a linebacker. I looked like a football player next to the little dancers that were like, you know, like little teeny ones. So I was like, you know, I was different. I was a different dancer. I had just had a different mindset. So 5 years later, I wasn't finished with it, and in my heart, like, so I was like, I got to go back and finish that Ailey thing because I quit my dream. That was my pinnacle. That's still my pinnacle of success to me. That's still the highest thing on my chart is the Ailey because it's like, you know, not to say that everybody can dance with Beyonce, but everybody can't be an Ailey dancer and do what an Ailey dancer does. So I hold that with super high regard. So, but back to that, I went back after my tenure with like my commercial stuff with all those artists I worked with, and 30 pounds heavier. I was a father at that point in time, so just things were different for me. And I went back, and it was probably the worst decision of my life because it was like the dream and the people that I idolized were different. I was in the company then with the students, that people that I was like, that I I was in the company and there were kids that were under me. Not that they were like we were better. I was better than them, but they were young, and it was just a different aesthetic when I came back. Like the bodies were different. The technical level was different. The soul of the company was different, and I didn't like it. I didn't.
Really?
Yeah, I
How long?
didn't.
How long did you stay that time?
A year and a half.
A year and a half. You just said that was the worst decision you ever made.
Yeah, going back because
Why?
it tarnished my Ailey experience. It tarnished what I thought that
Oh,
Ailey thing was. You know, I came in on the heels of the Desmonds and Matthew was still there. Renee was there. I got to partner with like Ailey like
legacy.
legends, you know, and then coming back and it was like, you know, a kiddie disco a little bit.
Ooh,
It was,
damn.
and that's not shade, but it was just they were just
Yeah.
young. It was a different approach. Like the dancers that were there, they had access to Ailey, so they had firsthand information from Ailey. Everyone was
Yeah.
so removed and so detached. So it's like second cousins. You know, like y'all not really close. I didn't really know them. You know, I didn't know them.
Yes, second cousins. Oh my God, I can't. Okay, wait, let's go back to the tour life. How was tour life? Like, I know you said you said you didn't like it because people were cheering for Rihanna or Beyonce or whatever. Not
I didn't like. I didn't like the. I knew I loved it. I loved
okay,
it.
okay, okay.
I didn't like it. I didn't like the fact that at the performances, I knew that they were just applauding for the person in front. Like I
Got you.
enjoy that very much.
Got okay, let's be clear. Okay, my bad, my bad. But tell me, how was tour life for you, being so young? I mean, because you were young at that point too, and you got thrown in with Beyonce, who is
It was
Beyonce,
it
and you're
was
with
what
all the top girls.
it's like what you imagine. It was like sex, drugs, rock and roll kind of thing. You know, it was like coming from the hood and being given that much access to like. I had so much access to almost every and anything. You know, working with those artists is like it's kind of scary. You know, like people would do anything for you just to get close to those people. So
Mm.
people would like try to pay me $10,000 just to get them into a meet and greet or introduce me. I'm like, yeah, I could really be scamming right now. But you know, but it wasn't a big adjustment, but because I'm not really a partier, but I did party a lot. I started drinking a lot, like you know, but and that's one thing. I started spending a lot of money, and that's one thing I would tell my younger self, like, boy, calm down on all that drinking and partying, save your money, stop shopping, you know, because I wasted hundreds of thousands of dollars nothing, on nothing, and that's just like. You know, that's just what happens with tour life. You get so excited, especially in the commercial industry, like the checks. When they are plentiful, they are plentiful and they are really nice. And
Yeah.
you get stuck in the mindset like, oh, these checks will be here forever, and they go away eventually. You know, they
Mm.
go away. So I would just tell my younger self, save, Anthony, get that house right now. Get that house right now. Invest in that property right now at 23.
Mm, mm. So is that some of the things, I mean, and I think the benefits of you doing your dance program is because you have this commercial experience and it's kind of like life experience. It's not just a dance. Are you incorporating that type of conversation and education into your program as
Well,
well?
actually, I do have a program during the summer called Breaking Barriers, and Breaking Barriers is which was my intro to my school. I've been doing Breaking Barriers now for 7 years, and I go to several different cities during the summer,
Hmm.
giving them, bringing them jewels, people's information, people that they see on TV, bring them into the classroom and have firsthand experience on what it's like to bridge, you know, what it's like to, you know, be a commercial, what it's like to be a concert dancer, and then giving them the information to transition that ballet to make it more commercial and vice versa. You know
Mm,
how they complement each other, and then getting them with getting them together with their headshot, their resumes, and just kind of like building just a self-esteem, because a lot of these kids don't have confidence and great like self-esteem. So
mm,
Breaking Barriers is a great program to uh, build those dancers. And it's not just for dancers. Like I've had artists and singers come to Breaking Barriers as well. But that Breaking Barriers is in its 7th year, and after the 5th year, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this school thing. And that's when Mariah, I don't know if Mariah blamed me for. We can talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about that. What about Mariah? What happened?
When she blamed me for her New Year's show, and then came out about her bipolarism afterwards. It's like you can't put. They tried to tarnish, like, I work hard, and I get really passionate about that, because I'm like, you break your back for these artists, recording artists, and you become disposable at the end of the day, because at the end of the tour, you're no longer of service. Yeah, right. So you're disposable. So and you just hoping, am I going to come back? Am I going to come back? And that's I mean, that's for any job, but. Yeah, to be the scapegoat for that situation, I was like, oh.
So how is she trying to blame you? How did that work?
It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was her. It was her management. It was her management. It wasn't Mariah. It was Mariah's management. It's not absolutely not Mariah. Mariah is like, she's great in my eyes. Like, she's one of the best artists I've ever worked for, to be honest. And it was bad management and inexperienced management that was trying to, deflect, and I ended up getting caught in the crossfire. And because of my NDA, I wasn't able to say anything. But they defamed my character. They defamed my character and tried to make me look like I was the fault for that. And I got way too much experience and worked with too many other artists to know what's going on. And yeah.
Okay. We'll leave that there. Can you speak to the because you're one, again, you have training, ballet training, formal training. Can you speak to the benefit of versatility and the knowledge that you have in terms of your success?
Versatility in this craft is important, period, because it gives you different outlets. You're not a one-trick pony or one-dimensional. Being an Ailey dancer, I think, helped me transition into acting, because that dance theater, being able to communicate inaudibly, allowed me to translate presence on camera, for acting. So I think they all kind of segue to each other.
Okay. And then in terms of like tour life, tell me, what are some of the misperceptions of tour life that you think dancers don't know?
Misconceptions.
Like misperceptions of being on tour.
You're somebody. You are somebody's B. Like, they tell you where to go. They tell you when to sleep. They tell you when to wake up. They tell you when to get on the plane. They leave you. They make you pay fees. Like, it's great, but there's like you're on somebody's schedule all the time. So that's the one thing I didn't enjoy about it.
Got you. And so what do you think? Everyone's not built for like these long running tours. You've been on Beyonce tours, Rihanna tours, and you've been on these on the road for like months at a time. What do you think that requires of dancers who want that to be their life? What do you think? What would you tell them they need in order to make that happen, besides the talent of what they do on stage?
I just think you just need to be set up emotionally, set up mentally, because you'll be away from your family. You'll miss funerals, you'll miss birthdays, you miss proms. Like, you'll miss a whole bunch of stuff, And it's like, you just have to be able to understand that it's a big sacrifice, and it's a big commitment that you have to put in order to get to a place where you can make that happen. So you got to put in a lot of hours in your craft, period, to be able to access those jobs. And then when you get there, how do you maintain? Once you're in it, you got that ticket, so you got to keep going to the next train, going to the next one, and then the next one after that. Until that card expires, or it transitions or expands to something else, and so. Yeah.
Got you. And then, okay, so you've been, again, from early on, and you've been a working dancer forever. That's your life. You've devoted your life to dance because you've been a working dancer. What is the key to longevity in like having a dance career that spans, you know, as long as yours has?
Versatility. It's the versatility, you know, because it's like, you know, being able to say I'm tired of Ailey and going back to commercial world to go right back on tour with a Katy Perry or something, is, or saying I'm going to go do this Broadway show and get a phone call from Beyonce and like, oh, can you choreograph these numbers in Australia? I'm gonna take a 2-week leave. I'll be back. You know, it just gives me flexibility. And I wasn't a hip hop dancer at all. Like I did little pop like rock and dance back as a kid, but I never considered myself a hip hop dancer because I've trained hard for my craft. I'm an artist. I'm like I've spent countless hours in ballet, countless hours in tights in front of a mirror, analyzing my body, analyzing my feet, analyzing every single part of myself. So, and it's not a hit on hip hop dancers, but I'm a classic dancer. I'm a classic dancer, and I've never really said, oh, I'm this or I'm that. But I've coined myself as a chameleon because I've been able to weed through both genres at very high level. But you know, I'm a twinkle toe all day. That's what.
Yes, twinkle toe. Yo, I love that. I love that. Okay, tell me this. Like, so you've been with Beyonce in different ways. Like, you've done the dancing for her. Now you co-choreograph, right? You've done creative direction. You've done a lot of different things in her world. How has that relationship been, and how were you able to build that solid relationship with her, or any artist? I mean, we can speak directly to Beyonce because that's where where you've done it. But how were you able to do that?
Just be committed to her brand and know. And I worked hard, and I know I pushed her, and sometimes she didn't like me because I pushed her, but I know she know it made her better, and I know like she know what I got to offer. It's just like, people say, oh, you work with Beyonce. I said Beyonce work with me because it's like I have something just as special as she does.
Ooh.
That in herself. So yeah.
Oh, you went out for a second, but you said you got something just as good as her.
I
What'd you say?
have something just as special. My gifts is special as well. God gave me something that's great, and I'm enhancing her. So she's working with me.
Yes, yes. Yeah, she's working with me. I love that. I know that's right. Okay. And another thing about her team, like I know, there's a large team of creatives with her. Like, I mean, even just with the choreographers from Jaquel to Chris to Frank to Dana to, all of that. Tell me the importance of teamwork and collaboration in general, like, and how that works.
I have to go get my charger. Hold on for 2 seconds. Okay.
Okay. And while he's gone, if any of you guys have any questions, please ask below, because going through all these comments, it's hard to keep up with the comments. So if you got a question, ask in the question box so then we can get to your questions, because I can't be doing all this scrolling, all right? Thank you for your work. So you think you can dance, Ailey, Jacob's Pillow, Philly in the house, you are an artist. Just reading through y'all's comments. Commercial break. Lord knows we all love B4, me and my friends. Okay. We're talking about teamwork and collaboration.
Okay. I'm gonna have to turn it sideways. Is that going to mess up yours? Because I got to put my charger. You got to turn your sideways as well? Yeah.
Oh, no, that means we're looking at you like this.
Hold on.
Can you?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Boom. Okay. Okay.
Where we at? My bad.
We're talking about teamwork and collaboration.
Oh yeah, with Beast Team, it's like it's a big old family over there. It's like the barbecue, and everybody be in their different sections, different departments. It was, during my last time on the team, it was about, and it fluctuates, always bringing in different people, different energy, because it's like it's not just one person or just one voice that's going to make this vision come to life. Such a great team to work for because it's so innovative, so creative. Well, when I was there, it was a lot of important people to make that ship run. You know, I love the fact that she's Beyonce. I hate people think that she's dumb. That lady is so damn smart.
Got to be smart.
So smart, so forward in her thinking. You know, and sometimes like I would be like, damn, we got to come up with this by the end of the day and send it to every day. Every day it got to be like, put it out, get it in, put it out, get it in. You know, because the demand was high for perfection, and it pushed me to be a better person. You know, working with so many established and great creatives, we pushed each other. We demanded so much from one another. Yeah,
I love that. What's going on over here? Okay, there we go.
I was making sure my charger was good.
Okay. No, I absolutely love that. And then, I mean, has it always been that way? Because again, you've been with her for now almost, over a decade at this point. You've been a part of her team in different ways. Have you seen that grow in her, and then has that grown in you as well? Just kind
absolutely.
of like,
I think for sure, like even my existence coming from, like leaving Ailey and going right to her, like I think she always respected that. And for a while she would require her girls to take ballet class, because it just, or hire dancers with training, because it just elevated her, her more aware of her lines and her, her accents or her, execution.
Got you. Okay, and earlier at the top of the hour, I was saying, you've been in a million, tours and all these. I was giving you numbers. So out of that, what was your favorite tour that you've been on?
Mariah.
Why?
Cause I got to fly on jets everywhere, man. I got to fly on jets everywhere, bro. Like, my check was insane. Like, and she respected my craft, and like, she was Mariah, but I was Anthony, and I think once I realized my worth working with these people, like, I'm like, yeah, like, I'm something too. I'm elevating you, I'm working, so I think it's important for us to know our worth, like, period, especially in this art, because I think we get so caught up in the job and the check, and like, oh, I can't ask for that raise. You got to start believing in yourself enough to like say, I'm worthy, I am good enough, So, yeah.
I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Respect the check. Favorite music video you've been a part of?
Lose My Breath.
Oh, yes. Yes. That was everything. Who choreographed that?
It was a team of people. Frank was creative head over that time. Cliff, Lavelle Smith.
That was a moment. That was a moment.
Yeah.
That was definitely a moment in time. Yes. That was back when, I was going to say, how'd you feel about the transition of Beyonce whenever she had you guys as the male dancers, and now you don't see any male dancers at all? Like, what do you?
As a mother and nobody want nobody gyrating all on my leg with my daughter in front.
Was that the thought behind that, or was it an aesthetic thing, or was it just a female empowerment thing?
Promoting women, and just showing women of all different colors, different sizes, different ethnicities, and just empowering women to be proud and brown and or whatever color they are.
Yeah.
I don't think it was about anything else but.
Got you. I love that. Favorite TV performance?
Favorite TV performance.
Or award show, yeah.
Oh, yeah, my favorite one was Lose My Breath Again. That was just a good time, good people. Lose My Breath at the European Music Awards when
when Michelle, the one she kept walking up the steps, Michelle was out of there. She was like, when they had the fur coats on, coming down the big white steps. It was a good one. It was a really good one. And they came back with different outfits, and we opened the show. So it was really, matter of fact, I did some really good shows.
You did a lot of good shit. Are you reminiscing? Wait till the interview's over.
I was trying to think of another one that was good. Yeah, but go ahead, my bad.
No, it's all good. I love it. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so tell me about any advice or resources for other, because we're about to wrap it up because we only got like 8 minutes. But I want to know, like, the best piece of advice you've given that has contributed to your success that you would share with others.
Dedication, determination, discipline. Just live by it, because if you really like see yourself somewhere and invest the time, you pray, you prepare, and go toward that dream and proceed toward that thing, I just believe that dedication, determination, and discipline will get you there or take you on a path to somewhere that's close to where your desire is. I come from a super unfortunate circumstance, and to be able to say I've accomplished all that stuff, it was nothing but God and determination, because I knew where I didn't want to be. I knew I didn't want to be in Philly. Most of my friends growing up didn't have chance. They didn't have an opportunity. They didn't have an outlet. So this dance thing was my outlet, and I just took it and ran with it, with that discipline and that dedication and then that determination. My teacher instilled that in me super young, and I live by it.
Ooh, discipline, dedication, and determination. Yo, I'm putting it on a t-shirt, or you should. That's everything to me. Okay. Wait, let's see. We got a couple questions. Let me get to the people. If you could go back and do something differently, what would you do?
Okay. This is a PG show. This is a family show.
You know what? It's not.
So I would let my mom get in those people's ass on Dance Mom in my career, because I'm really, like, they talked about me like that. That showed, like, I think I did a lot of reality stuff that it kind of puts you, it can, with that editing and all that stuff. Like, I would have. It depicted me as a person that I wasn't, and I think they have, in editing, they have an opportunity to, by just putting clips and stuff together, putting clips and stuff together that depicts you in a light that you're not. And yeah, they just talked bad about me on that show. Abby did, and I just wish I would have let my mom, sick the pit bull on them one time,
Put my mom on the people, yo.
It's Dance Mom. Y'all want a Dance Mom, but this is a real Dance Mama right here.
Yeah, okay, I got a real Dance Mom.
Yeah.
I love that. Yo, okay, so I want to play a quick game with you. We're gonna play either or and then word association, okay?
Okay.
Okay, cool. Philly or New York?
New York.
Okay. Live performance or music video?
Live performance.
Compassion or tough love?
Passion.
Classical or commercial?
Classical.
Popeyes or KFC?
Popeyes.
Horton or Graham?
Who asked you to talk? The kids tell you ask about Popeyes. I used to love being 2 beats in a biscuit, man.
Horton or Graham?
Horton.
Tour bus or plane?
Tour bus.
Wow.
Because you could do stuff on the tour bus that you can on a plane.
Okay, because earlier you was talking about the plane and the jet, so I was like, you
Well,
gonna
I
bring
mean,
plane?
but like I mean plane, I'm thinking commercial plane on tours. You know, I don't like you know who likes to travel commercial, but if on a tour bus life is fun because you get to party, you get to bring people on the bus to travel with you. You know, it's just a good time, and it's a good way to like
Gotcha,
build that camaraderie with your cast and your group. So, I mean, but
gotcha.
you know, it's like jets are that experience is not you can't eating lobster tails and shrimps on the come on, man. Come on, don't
I
take my shoes
love it.
off.
I cannot. All right, technique or talent?
Talent.
Obama or Oprah?
OB.
What?
Obama. OB.
Obama. Okay. Late night or early morning?
Early mornings like 3, 4 in the morning.
5, 6 is early to me. I mean, 3, 4 sounds like a late night.
I mean, are we going to sleep or are we going out?
I don't know what you're doing.
Early morning.
You know what? I cannot do this.
No,
With
I
you.
just like no. These are my hours. These are the hours I like, bro. These are the hours. I don't get creative and start working till like 2 o'clock in the morning. Like I teach,
No, I
eat
feel
at
that.
like midnight, and then my brain starts working at 2, and then I'm up to like 6 and 5.
Yo,
5
same. I feel it. I feel it. All right, word association. You ready? Real quick. First thing that comes to mind. Don't think about it.
You
Ready?
said what? You cut
I
off.
said word association. First thing that comes to mind. You ready?
You said what? I can't hear you. One more thing.
Word association. First thing that comes to mind.
Okay.
Rihanna.
That's SOS.
Full out.
Aisha Francis.
Yes, Aisha. Beyonce.
My sister.
Passion.
Me.
Legend.
Frank Gatson.
Oh, Frank Gatson was my next one. Frank Gatson.
Changed my life.
Judah Jameson.
Judy.
Abby Lee Miller.
Me and Frisco.
Discipline.
Um, longevity.
Love.
My daughter.
Yes, your daughter. I love that. That's the perfect way to go out. Yo, Anthony, I appreciate you, bro. This was
No
lit.
doubt, man.
I
No doubt, man.
appreciate you so much. All
Wish,
right, bro.
wish you the best, man. Thanks again.
Of course. Oh, yeah. And ABCD. Well, I'll put it up there. I'll make sure they know where to donate. Make sure you guys donate and support.
Store.anthonyburrell.org. Store.anthonyburrell.org. Thank you guys so much.
I'm going to post it. Make sure y'all donate, okay? Thank you, Anthony. I
No doubt,
appreciate
bro.
you, bro. All right. Peace. Yo, that was fun. Yes, that was fun. Make sure y'all donate. We're gonna put it on in the stories today. And then tomorrow I have Daryl Glover, an amazing stylist. And next week is lit. I already got next week booked. I'm getting ahead. Next week is week 8. This is show number 34. Tomorrow's show number 35. It's lit. Thank y'all for coming to office hours and clocking in with me. I appreciate you. Thank you again, Anthony, for coming and sharing with us and giving us all the gifts. Make sure y'all donate. Please support the community. Tonight, again, Jaquel Knight Foundation is having the battles with him and Paris. Check out their Instagrams. It's going to be lit. I appreciate y'all. All right, I'm clocking out. Peace.